Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of GT History, the video series where I talk about some of the craziest stories of the most capitalist MMO out there, Growtopia. Although Growtopia is just a game mostly played by kids, it is unbelievable what some players are able to achieve. For them, Growtopia isn't just a game, it is much more than that. In my previous videos, I have already talked about Ruby or Washipal and how they became super rich by being ruthless capitalists in this game. But the player, or better, the two players I'm going to talk about in today's video, are on another level. Their net worth was so huge that even Washipal and Ruby's items combined didn't even come close to it. What you will see in this video will make you doubt that it's even real. So get out your history books and start this epic journey. Also, if you want to see more quality Growtopia content instead of fake giveaways and annoying music, please consider joining the OG Genie team by subscribing to this channel. Thank you. But enough rambling around. Let's get straight into the video. So who are those two super rich players I'm talking about? I am, of course, talking about Bretz and Zraei. You probably know their name from the item called Zraei's Dragon Scarf, which they sponsored by being the first to complete the epic quest in Growtopia. That alone is a huge achievement by itself, as it is considered to be the endgame of Growtopia, and only a few players have been able to complete this quest. Both of them are from the Philippines and started playing Growtopia in 2014, but they didn't even know of each other's existence back then. They just farmed, had little shops, the typical Growtopian stuff. In 2015 they met each other and became a couple. And no, they're not gay or anything, Zraei is actually a girl. They weren't a couple in real life though, they only were together in Growtopia. But nevertheless, they fit together very well. They weren't just a couple, they were a team. What I mean by that is that they planned a lot of stuff together. Projects like mass producing, farming, how they managed their shop, where to invest, are all things they did together. And that's what differentiated them from the normal Growtopian. Instead of randomly buying items, they analyzed the market and saw good business opportunities to make some big bucks. But their shop wasn't their only project. In 2015, they also built a world called Honors, which displayed the price of every item there was in Growtopia. Honors wasn't the only price word at the time, but it has proven itself to be the most accurate and frequently updated price word out of all of them. And that's why it took over Nasdaq as the most popular price word in Growtopia. Bretz and Zraei did a great job managing the world and keeping the prices updated. But there also was a lot of criticism. Specifically, they were accused of manipulating the prices in order to profit for themselves. So did they actually do it? Well, it is unclear, and I don't want to accuse them of anything. But you have to admit that this world gave them a lot of power, maybe even too much. So now you know how they got rich, but how rich exactly? Bretz and Zraei got really famous for their collection world called Bretzraei, which became a real hotspot. And you can see why. Their collection included 3 golden dragon statues, over 20 mint juleps, tons of golden items, as well as a large collection of glitched seeds. But the shiniest part of their huge collection must have been their over 40 golden heart crystals, as well as 50 phoenix wings. Oh, and they also owned a curse wand, a consumable that allows the owner to curse another player to hell, just like a moderator can. This collection was so expensive that some players even said that you couldn't calculate an overall price for it. So what's your estimate? Comment it down below, because I am going to tell you how much it is. As I did in my video on Ruby, the first millionaire in Growtopia, I counted all items and calculated an estimate of the overall amount of worldlocks it cost. As a source for the prices, I used the word label as well as the website called Growstocks, an online price checking website for Growtopia. The total amount of worldlocks is shocking. It makes Ruby, Washipal, SideofX, pretty much everybody look like a total noob. Their collection in the world Bretzraei alone is worth close to 10 million worldlocks. That's 100,000 diamond locks or 1,000 blue gem locks. And that's not even everything they owned. If you add their other expensive worlds, such as Honors, Marketplace, or countless Buy Plus worlds, the total amount goes up to close to 12 million world locks. That's 12 times as much as Ruby ever owned, and 1,000,000 times more than I do. If you were to purchase that many world locks from the store, you would have to buy $600,000 worth of gems if you bought the most expensive gem pack over and over again. $600,000. That's an insane amount of money they owned in a game. So that's what the biggest collection of Growtopia looked like. But what happened to it and where is it now? Sadly, from 2017 onwards, everything started falling apart. It began with the Cosmic Cape incident. Most of you probably know the Cosmic Cape as the item that you can purchase during Night of the Comet from the store for 200,000 gems. But that wasn't always the case. The Cosmic Cape came out in 2015, and for the first 2 years, up until 2017, the only way to get it was by winning the daily challenge during Night of the Comet. And that only happened once a month. This challenge could only be won if you collected enough comet dust during the challenge. And many players criticized that it could only be won by super rich players who owned enough popular worlds, which is where most of the dust spawned. And that's why in 2017 Ubisoft decided to add the Cosmic Cape to the store for 200,000 gems, without warning anybody. As you can imagine, the price of Cosmic Capes plummeted, and it went from being worth over 2 blue gem locks to just under a diamond lock. Bretz and Zraei owned 17 of them, which meant they lost over 30 blue gem locks, and many players were outraged. But the two of them publicly said that they don't even care about it. Whether that's true or not can't be said, but if you take a look at the overall amount of world locks they owned, it is barely a scratch. But it was in 2018 when it really went sideways. As it turned out, their biggest strength, which was their teamwork, became their biggest problem. When Bretz, who was Zraei's boyfriend, broke up with her just to get together with Ruby. Yeah, you heard that right. Bretz left Zraei and Ruby became his new girlfriend. Publicly, Zraei said that it was fine for her and that she approves of them, but I can imagine there was some real stuff going on behind the scenes. Their huge collection was then moved from Bretz Zraei to Zraei, and she said that Bretz still had access there and they both own all the items. But it simply wasn't the same anymore. Zraei didn't just lose her boyfriend, but also her teammate and the person she played with over the last few years. They still were friends, but just not the same as before. In 2019, Zraei finally quit Growtopia and gave all of her items to Bretz. Bretz continued playing for a bit longer, but with Ruby quitting Growtopia in early 2020, he then quit too at the end of the year. But wait, where are all of their items at? Before Bretz quit, he went full sellout mode. He sold all of their worlds, items, and even the kitchen sink under market value, and then just disappeared. Nobody knows if he sold diamond locks for real money like Washipol did, and which of course is completely illegal, or if he has them stored in a world somewhere. You can decide for yourself. Maybe we will find out in the future. I'll keep you updated. So make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss it. Also make sure to check out my world called Make Growtopia Great Again. It is a very cool community project with the goal to make players focus more on social interactions instead of word locks, which, as you learned from this video, won't make you happy or enjoy the game once you earned them. That's all from my side. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Peace out.